things here before we get going. Just overall, just I think one of the things that we've talked about for a few months now is that we're committed. We're committed to getting better in all ways. The roster is just one way to do that. There's a ton of ways that we try to get better every day that, is hard for you guys to see, but the roster is one part of trying to get better. Every part of our building, I think, is continually trying to get better. We've had a continual focus on that since, really since the off-season program started, and I think it's been good. Our players have really responded well. Obviously, we have new players now that are being onboarded to our program and our culture right now as we speak, and we're really excited about that. And we have a lot of reasons to be very excited about where we are right now. I would say that on the roster and the moves that were made, feel really good about being able to get a proven left tackle to protect Deshaun Watson. They're hard to draft. They're hard to develop. Laramie Tunsil's an excellent player was here, last night, yesterday afternoon, in here right now, meeting with Mike. A really good guy, and it's been good getting to know him over the last, let's just call it 36 hours. We've added versatile players who can play multiple positions. You go all the way back to the trade for Duke Johnson, Barcavius Mingo, Jake Martin, Kenny Stills, Carlos Hyde, Keon Crossan. Feel like we've upgraded our wide receiver core, added depth to linebacker and corner, and improved our special teams. These moves were part of a plan, something that was well thought out. Spent a lot of time on it and tried to execute the plan. It's not just a plan to improve the team for 2019. It's a plan to improve the roster for years to come, giving us the ability and flexibility to extend our core players while continuing to add and develop talent. This team prepared hard during the entire offseason. We're excited to focus on the regular season. We'll bring our guys in today. We'll have a team meeting at noon, and then we'll have special teams meetings, O&D meetings, some walkthroughs, and then we'll go out on the field and we'll practice around, I think it's around 5:30 tonight, okay? So those are just some things I wanted to talk about. I do want to kind of mention a couple things here, just to give you guys a little info here, just on jersey numbers. So Alex Magoo will wear number 3, Kenny Stills will wear number 12, Carlos Hyde number 23, Duke Johnson number 25, Cornell Armstrong number 30, Keon Crossan 35, Barcavius Mingo 52, Jacob Martin 54, and Laramie Tunsil 78. So with that, open it up to questions.
Did you try to sign Tunsil to an extension before y'all made it?
Again, John, I would tell you this just flat out. I've heard that out there. That question's been asked. I would never, ever talk about any contract negotiations with any player, between the club and the player.
With value with respect to future draft capital, how tough was it to weigh the value of what you're bringing in versus what those players that you don't know, what they might have become, that you can't get at this point with not having those picks?
Well, again, we feel like we've added proven players to the roster, proven really good players to the roster. We weighed that in a lot of different ways. We'd be here all day if I had to go into all the different ways we weighed it relative to upcoming drafts and the works that our scouts have done and what these guys that we brought into our team, specifically Laramie and Kenny, what they've done in their careers. Weighed it all out, had several meetings about it, a lot of hours. It was a trade that Chris Greer and I worked very closely on. He was really good, really patient. I think we were both patient. Took a long time, and I think both teams are better for it. Relative to each team's situation.
On Friday, when we were talking to you, you mentioned you asked about Clowney, and you said it came down to it was a question of value.
Right.
How you guys saw him, how he saw himself. Should you guys have traded Clowney before the draft, and do you feel like you got the value you needed back from him from a player organizational standpoint? We do. We feel like there were a lot of talks that took place. There were contract proposals between the player and us that we just couldn't come to an agreement on, relative to the franchise tag. The spirit of the franchise tag is to try to
give yourself more time to possibly come to an agreement on a long-term contract. We couldn't come to that agreement. We had several discussions with many teams over many months, and we feel like we made the best decision for the team.
You talked about how much you like Tunsil. What do you like about his game, specifically as a pass protector and a run blocker?
Well, I think he's smart, tough, dependable. I think he's athletic. I think he's a guy that we scouted when he was coming out of college. We have several people here that are very familiar with him. James Lifford did a lot of work on him when he was in New England relative to when Laramie was in college. So we have a lot of people, in addition to James, that are very familiar with him. And we really, we're excited about watching him on tape and what he could bring to our offense. So he's come in here. You can tell he's humble and hungry. And, he's looking forward to being a Texan.
The guys you got this weekend, do you expect them to be able to contribute this week?
Yeah, I would say that, again, I think we're in the beginning stages, Christy, of our game plan relative to New Orleans, but I would say that the majority of the guys that we brought in on the 53 would have a shot to compete to be on the 46 for Monday night.
What is kind of the process? Do you feel like it'll be kind of a, get your toe in the water and keep going up, or like how do you?
I think that's a good question. I think one of the things that we try to do is teach them the basics, teach them what we call the basic information section of each playbook and also special teams, and then teach them the game plan. I think if you try to throw everything at them, in 1 or 2 days, that's and see what sticks, that's not the right approach. I think you have to take it kind of bit by bit relative to your playbook and then relative to what part of the playbook you're using in the game.
Building a roster for long-term success, what goes into this successful roster building when your quarterback inevitably will be on a more expensive contract and one of those early picks?
Right. No, there's a lot that goes into that. You look at a lot of different things. You look at your team currently. You look at the contract situation, the productivity, the health situation of every person every player on your team. You think about your philosophy of wanting a team full of smart, tough, dependable players. You look at potentially future drafts. You look at potential free agents within the next couple of years. You look at a lot of different things. You try to take a lot of things into account. You do a lot of different research projects, a lot of different studies, and in the end, you try to do the best job you can of making the best decision for the team, which is what we believe we did.
So with the Jadavian Clowney trade, would it have been obviously ideal if the other team could have done a deal just to get more for him? You're talking about the top overall pick and a guy that made the last 3 Pro Bowls. It just doesn't look like you got a lot back in return in terms of draft compensation or players that have been to a Pro Bowl.
I understand everybody's going to dissect how we did it and what we received back and what we gave Seattle. In the end, again, Aaron, we did what we felt was in the best interest of our organization and of our team moving forward. We feel like we got a 2020 third-round pick, and we also feel like we added 2 players that are very versatile players. They play hard. They play with great effort. They're high-character guys, and we feel like we did what was best for the team.
Bill, since 2014, there's been criticisms out there. It's part of the world you're in, but
sure.
In the last few months, there has been a lot, whether it was Brian Gain firing or the tampering charges, the pursuit of Nick Caserio, and then in the last couple of days, how confident are you in this organization, especially Cal and Jack, and the vision you have and what you guys are going for right now?
We are very confident in how we operate on a daily basis. We're very confident in how we communicate with each department within the organization. We're very confident about the amount of work we put in and the thought process that goes into really everything, from what we're eating today to how long we're meeting to what happened over the last couple of days relative to player acquisitions. We're very confident. We're also confident in the fact that we can't control what the outside world thinks. You said it. That's the nature of our business. It's probably taken me a while to figure that out. But it's the nature of our business. I think the best thing for us to do is go work hard, practice hard, and win. I think that really is something that we need to do, and that's what we're focused on doing, and we're trying to do with all the different decisions we make. In the end, we all know, how we play and how much we win will determine our future and our success. We understand that, and we can't control what the outside world thinks. We just try to do the best we can to make the best decisions for the organization.
You talk about Steele defense end, and also he took a knee every anthem in Miami. You haven't had that. Have you talked to him about that?
So first of all, on Kenny's skill set as a player, I think he's got excellent speed. I think he can run all the routes on the outside. I think he can play on the inside. I think he's a versatile wide receiver that can do a lot of different things. He's got good hands. Is a really good route runner, very smooth route runner, and he has a combination of speed and route running ability that I think you guys know, in being around me for a while, that I really like having on the team. Relative to any social justice initiatives, you guys know that my history here with the Houston Texans is I love the players. I have the players back, and we communicate about those things. I'm not going to really get into any discussions that I would have with any player about those things, but I support the players in social justice initiatives.